Hey everybody, welcome to ICO or No, the series that helps you understand some of the hottest ICOs on the market. I'm Jeremy from Blockchain WTF, and today I'm excited to bring you Walla, an ICO that is looking to provide banking solutions to the emerging financial markets in developing countries. And of course, we'll ask the same 4 questions we use to evaluate every single ICO, so sit back, let us do the heavy lifting to get you up to speed on everything Walla. So let's start with our first question. What is the Walla project and what problem is it trying to solve? According to Walla, globally, over 3.5 billion people are not adequately served by current financial institutions. That's just under half the world's population. Over 2 billion people do not have bank accounts, and another 1.5 billion only have basic saving accounts, which really don't do much more than act as a place to store your money. They aren't connected with the global financial market and don't offer the basic banking services that most of us are used to. These underserved consumers are primarily located in Latin America, Asia Pacific, and Africa. Across these emerging markets, there are 2 main barriers for these economies to catch up. The first, access. Many consumers operate outside of a formal financial system due to lack of financial infrastructure, required documentation, credit history, financial literacy, or intimidation of the banking system. This last point is a hugely important one to make. There are some people in countries like the United States that do have developed banking systems. They could go and open up a bank account, but the whole process of getting documents to prove your identity, well, that's a whole ordeal in itself. And actually going to open up a bank account, well, let's just say the process is needlessly complex. However, with emerging blockchain and solutions like Walla, that might soon change. The second barrier is cost. Simply, it costs a lot to participate in the global financial market. High fees are the top reason why consumers avoid the system entirely, and if you use Bank of America, well, you already know what I'm talking about. These institutions have taken every opportunity to nickel and dime their customers. I've heard countless examples of people overdrafting their accounts by $1 or $2 and are hit with $30 to $50 charges until they realize their mistake. The existing solutions, such as banks serving emerging markets, have proven not to truly understand the unique needs of the unbanked consumer. In emerging markets, banks face a fundamental problem. They've developed a staggeringly complex and costly business and operating model, resulting in a fee and rate-dominated banking experience for consumers. Fee-based banking results in proportionally high costs for low-income consumers. Simply put, the existing model is not sustainable for developing economies. The Walla financial platform is built using the Raiden network on the Ethereum blockchain. It connects its partners, who are specialist financial providers such as banks, with the 3.5 billion unbanked and underserved consumers. And now that we know a little bit about the Walla project, let's move on to our second question. What are the market conditions facing the project? There are a few apps trying to do the same thing as Walla, such as Gasha, which are specifically focusing on banking the underserved. And this is a very important thing to note. These apps aren't trying to compete against the existing banking structure. Rather, they're trying to fill a void left by these large banks. And with the failure of these big banks to sufficiently address this need, well, there's a market open that Walla can target. And don't believe everything you hear about big banks. Take Jamie Dimon, for example, and his apparent hate for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Well, Jamie Dimon profits off of a system dominated by fiat currency. He makes his money off the use of the US dollar, so of course he's going to publicly trash Bitcoin. The part I find funniest, though, is that JP Morgan allegedly turned around and bought Bitcoin at a discount right after his comments. No matter what the big banks say, they are definitely exploring blockchain technology. If you look at the members of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, including JP Morgan Chase, several are banks. The big banks will use blockchain technology, making it very hard for any of the smaller projects to compete in that same space, which is really why I like the position that Walla is going for in the market. Target the people that aren't within the current system, that aren't currently working with the banks. That's your market. And now that we've talked a little bit about the market conditions facing the project, let's move on to our third question. Who is behind the Walla ICO? In order to answer this question, I'm going to tell a story. Walla began with founder and CEO Trisha Martinez's work directing unconditional cash transfers to subsistence farmers in Uganda. It was at this point that Trisha saw that even though some mobile money technology is being incorporated, people weren't securely storing their money. To better understand the banking and financial service issues plaguing these consumers, Trisha began interviewing consumers in Uganda and created a digital community in response to the growing interest from consumers over there seeking financial guidance. In the first month, the community organically grew to 100,000 consumers, mainly in Kampala, which is Uganda's capital that has over 1.5 million residents. And that's an origin story that most people can get behind. A project created with altruistic goals is definitely one that most people can support and feel good about supporting. And with that, let's move on to our fourth and final question. What is the design of the Walla ICO? The Walla ICO will create a token called the DALA token, DALA, and $1 billion tokens will be created. DALA is an ERC20 token that will be created using smart contract that executes the token creation, and that's currently being audited and is open source available on GitHub. As I said before, they're issuing 1 billion tokens. However, they are trying to raise $30 million for the ICO. The breakdown of the token distribution goes as follows. 30% will be available for the token sale, 30% of the DALA tokens go to Walla, and 40% will remain in the ecosystem to incentivize future growth. And that's our review on the Walla ICO. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave us a like and also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future ICOs or notes. Any discussion, questions, general comments, throw those down below in the comment section. Be sure to check out blockchain.wtf for all of our great content. This is Jeremy of Blockchain WTF. We'll see you next time.